What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Work Knife Balance. We're going to be taking a look at another Kizer today. So, without further ado, let's head to the top down. All right, ladies and gents, we got a pretty sweet Kizer in today. Before we get too far into that, I want to say thank you to anybody who's already liked and subscribed to the channel. If you haven't, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. You could also follow us on Instagram at WorkKnifeBalance939. That's a great way to communicate with us and let us know what you want to see. All that cool stuff. We'll send you back some swag if you send us a knife for a review. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and dive into this right here. This is going to be a Kizer clutch lock. This is going to be the Kizer Task. And so I really like the way this knife came out. I was kind of skeptical because I'm more and more leaning away from clutch locks. So when I was able to mess around with this one and feel how this clutch lock, bar lock, whatever you want to call it, came through, it is a really nice, really well done knife. So we'll do some measurements and then we'll do some side-by-side comparisons, and then I'll give you my impressions and opinions on this bad boy right here. Overall measurement, tip to tail, we're looking just over 7 inches. We're going to say just about 7.25, probably 7.23, 7.2, somewhere in there. For the blade length, we're looking about 3 inches with a cutting edge of about 2.6 on it. You do have a really generous choil in there that actually is a really nice choke-up choil on it as well. Side-by-side comparisons, we'll go ahead and pull out the Civivi Elementum. We'll get another bar lock, clutch lock, one of my favorites, the NAFS Lander right here. And then we can get we'll do a Benchmade Bug Out as well. We can throw that up top there for another clutch lock to compare it to. We can go ahead and do the Civivi Sikoke Ray Laconico right there. And then we'll pull one more. We'll probably do another Kizer. We'll do the Kizer Veritas. Put that Veritas up top there. Sweet. Gives you some decent side-by-side comparisons, some other bar lock comparisons, and then some other just kind of common knives that y'all probably have in your collection. And if you don't, they're really great knives. You can check out the videos for those below. But yeah, this is a Kizer bar lock. They call it their clutch lock. And this is the Kizer Task. Comes in 154 cm on the blade steel. I believe that's going to be on the back side here. You can see it right up in that top corner. 154 cm on the blade steel there. Other than that, I'm really trying to figure out. So they've got longitudinal coordinates on this knife. They've got a north and a west. So they've got a north degrees and a west degrees. Not longitudinal coordinates, but they have a north. It's 250 degrees north and 188 degrees west. So I'm curious where that is pointing to, or what that is giving you directions for or whatnot on this knife for the task. Maybe the task is to go find it. Maybe this knife is part of a secret, like, treasure hunt, and that's what it's telling you. This task, should you choose to accept it, when you buy this, you must go find that treasure, whatever it may be, and it leads you to, like, riches unknown. That would be amazing. Oh, man, my mind just spiraled out of control there. But getting back to the knife at hand here, the Kizer Task, you do have a micarta scale, and I really love Kizer's micarta. We recently had the Cryptid in here. There's been a couple other micarta handles that we've had through here. I've had a Sheepdog micarta before with the same feel and fit to it as well. There's been the Assassin. There's been a couple other micartas, and Kizer's micarta is one of my favorites. It's soft, it's durable, it's nice. They do a really good job. I like the color, how it's not just, yeah. I really like Kizer's micarta. So you do have the edges chamfered around on the entire both sides there, so that feels really nice as you come through it. It makes it so, especially in this kind of anchor spot here for your index finger, it feels more contoured. The actual micarta itself is not contoured, but it feels more contoured in here, and it's really nice. It gives you a really good kind of ergo feel and comfort to it. There's no jimping on the spine of this knife, but it does have a not sharp edge, but it's not a rounded spine, I would say. So it does have an edge spine to it. So you don't necessarily need a ton of jimping, excuse me, because your thumb's not going to slip off either side. You get a firm platform. Really like the swedge that they put at the top of this blade here. It just adds a little bit more aesthetically to this kind of like sheep's footy modified Wharncliffe to it. Modified sheep's, modified Wharncliffe, I guess. You could almost say it's a reverse Tonto maybe, with how heavy that edge is coming out. But we're going to say it's a Wharncliffe blade here. And it is very slicey. It is very, very slicey. You do have thumb studs for deployment. You also have this little hole right here down below. If you wanted to, you could kind of get in there, but you can use the thumb stud to reverse flick. You can use the thumb stud to flick out with your thumb like that as well. So there's a lot going on with this knife. You can do a lot of fun things with it as well. You do have a reversible pocket clip, but it's not recessed, and they didn't like recess the clip into the scales like they've done on some other ones, which I think is just kind of a little bit of a miss. You could have easily cut out a little spot for that pocket clip to rest in there rather than have it sit on top like it is right there. And then the other thing too is with doing that, you would just eliminate some of that wideness that you feel in that clip sitting there. So I would say sink that in a little bit if they redo this knife, or if they make another version of it or anything like that, and that would just make it a little bit nicer as well. And then I really like Kizer's clutch lock. One thing I would say, these are very comfortable kind of studs on the clutch lock, but they stick up hardly at all. So that's a nice thing, and that's probably part of the reason I like it so much, is because they're sticking up hardly at all, so they're not really impeding any of the. Usually sometimes when they stick up so far, it's hard for me, at least personally, to do that reverse flick, because I'll go to do this and then my finger's hitting that little actuator for the bar lock or the clutch lock because it sticks out so far. So I like that Kizer's doesn't necessarily do that, because then you can get in there and pretty easily reverse flick as well. So yeah, not much left to say about this. Really enjoyed this knife. Really like what Kizer is doing right now, especially in that budget category. This one comes in at $82. We will go ahead and put links below. If it's an Amazon link, it does support our channel. We greatly appreciate the support. If not, just follow the link, get yourself a sweet little knife. 154 cm, a really nice clutch lock, a beautiful micarta handle. This is the Kizer Task. Until next time, TTFN.